2 of my stretching video for FitCat Fitness. What I have here is a variety of tools that you can use, which I'll get to in just a minute, but I want to talk to you about the 2 different types of stretching. Active stretching is a very dynamic type of stretching where you're actually moving into the stretch versus isometric or static stretching, which is a very static position that you hold your body in order to do the stretch. Now you want to hold these poses for about 30 seconds or more, and the reason for this is because in order to allow for that muscle or tendon that you're working on to notify the brain that it needs to release, you need to give it time to talk to the brain and then send that message back to the muscle in order to release. So that's kind of what's going on. It's that mind and body relationship that your body has when you're stretching. So why do I stretch? What do I stretch? Well, it depends on what you're doing that day. If I'm doing an upper body workout, obviously I want to be stretching my upper body. If I'm doing a lower body workout, I want to be stretching my lower body. So whatever muscle groups it is that you are engaging in that particular day, that's what you really want to be focusing on. You can stretch other things too, that's fun. The more stretching the better, the more flexibility and mobility that you have, the better off you're going to be in the long run. So a couple of these tools I want to show you. I'm not going to get into foam rolling today, but this is self-myofascial release. And foam rolling is a great way of unlocking some of those muscles that might be very tight. Also, we have different types of bands here that can be used in different ways. So I can use these bands. These are generally leg bands, but I can also use them to stretch in other ways. I can also have a partner use them with me in order to get a little bit more flexibility out of them. This is a different type of band that's an open band. These are good for lying on your back and putting around your foot and getting an extra stretch out because then you're creating tension. And then of course you could use resistance bands as well. In yoga, getting yourself a nice yoga mat, this is actually a jump mat, but any type of mat that provides that stickiness for your feet so that your feet can stay in positions for long periods of time, plus a yoga block is also a good thing that you can use in order to increase your leverage, because one of the important things about stretching that I want you to consider is the more leverage you can create, the longer you're going to be able to stretch, right? So if I'm just stretching here, for example, let's say that I'm just coming into a warrior pose and I'm just in warrior 2 right now, and I have my legs are not as far apart. For some people, that's as far as they can get, and that's good. But if I increase my lever, now what I'm doing is I'm increasing that stretch, and I want to make sure that I get into a good position. So one of the things that I always teach people in order to know how far you can go with leverage is feel what feels good and what feels bad. If it feels like it's tension, time under tension with muscles, then that's a good stretch. If it feels like it's hurting in any way, shape, or form, or you're putting too much pressure on joints like knees or hips or shoulders, then back off of the stretch and decrease your leverage at that point. One of the tools that I like to use for stretching in order to increase my leverage is actually a ball, a stability ball. And the reason for that is because I can move this in different ways. I can always use a bench if I want to, but I can't move the bench around really. I mean, I can move it up and down, I can move it side to side, but I can't really move it the same way that I can use a stability ball. So upper body, I want to work on joint areas where there is synovial fluid. Hips and shoulders in particular are ball and socket joints, and everybody's body's put together differently, so everybody's ball and socket looks a little bit different. But the synovial fluid is what you want to get moving in the joint in order to increase your range of motion. So if I'm doing an upper body workout, I really want to make sure that I've got that synovial fluid going in my shoulders so that I don't, hurt myself, so it's not grinding or it's not moving in the wrong way. So one of the exercises that I can do is I can take this stability ball and put my hand up like this. Now what I'm doing is I'm pressing my shoulder into the ground. So I'm using gravity as well as this leverage here in order to really stretch out that shoulder very well. So pre-workout, I'm going to want to get a little more active with it. so that I can get that synovial fluid working. In a post-workout, I'm going to want to be more static, or I can be slightly dynamic. What I don't want to do is I don't want to throw my body into any of these stretches, because stretching is stretching. Be slow, be easy with it. Use your breathing to slow you down and to keep you from really, getting too far into the exhaustion with it, because stretching should be something that is relaxing. Another type of thing that you can do with the ball, for a lot of ladies in particular in the gym, this is always an interesting move. For a lower body workout, we can open up these hip flexors in here, can get very tight. And so this move, it's the same kind of move that I used with my shoulder, but now I'm pressing down into the floor with that hip and allowing for this all to open up and really get a good stretch into my hip flexor and a little bit into my quadricep there. And again, I can move the ball so that I'm not overstretching myself, because especially in the groin area, you want to be really careful because you can overstretch that really easily. Now, static stretches, it's good to have something that is immobile. This is a more dynamic stretch. You can do static stretching, obviously, on a stability ball. But if you have something that is static, this is going to be a lot easier for you to use to do static stretching. So on here, I can do the same kind of thing. I can twist my body around and open up that shoulder. See how I'm just creating leverage? That's really the key to stretching. A good stretch, it doesn't matter. You don't have to learn a lot of techniques. Just move your body in ways that you can feel that leverage moving, okay? I can do a tricep dip like this, where I'm holding my arm down and I'm really stretching that tricep. I can also just use my own body weight. I can take my hands. See how I'm creating leverage with my hands? I'm opening up my upper back right now with this stretch by just pulling in different motions, one against the other. This is a pretty traditional one, chest opener move as well. I'm rolling the shoulders back and I'm pulling my hands down. Now, what I like to do in this stretch with folks is I like to get behind there and add a little bit more resistance by pulling down on their hands. So those are some of the good stretches. I enjoy yoga very much, as you know, because I think it allows for a fuller body stretch. You're going through vinyasas, you're going through a variety of different poses where you're moving fluidly, especially in flow yoga. You're moving fluidly through these motions and you're really able to stretch those muscles. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you need any more help with stretching, I can get deeper into certain techniques if you like, but otherwise, welcome to the world of fitness, or back to the world of fitness, or into the world of fitness, or remaining in the world of fitness. And I hope that was helpful for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.